So instead of calling it double angle, we'll call it half. Leave it recording. Half. Yay, half math.
Yay!
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome to Obamath by yaymath.org. Give it up.
Woo! I need a flag.
Oh, get the flag going. The flag.
There we go.
Don't forget. Yeah. Very nice. So today we're doing double angle formulas. Could you give me a yay math?
Yay math!
Yeah.
Yay math.
Oh yeah, sarcastic works. Yay.
Yay math.
Yeah, I pitched those too. Okay, so let's start off with some data. Let's say if sine of an angle equals 3 over 5. And suppose we're in quadrant 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. We want to find, so that would be 90. It's less than the angle is less than 180. Is this format okay?
Yeah.
The angle's between 90 and 180?
Yep.
All right. So now we want to find, let's say, sine of half the angle.
All right.
So let's draw this first. Quadrant 2, we go over here. Here's the angle. We don't know what it is. We don't really care. Sine, hook it up. Sine of the angle is 3 over 5. Where would the 3 go?
So the 3 would go on
Opposite.
the opposite,
Very good.
and the 5 would go on hypotenuse.
Bravo. 3 would go here, positive. 5 would go here, positive.
And then the bottom would be 4.
4, positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative because it's left, correct? Yep. All right, bravo. So now we want to know what sine of half that angle is. And here's the thing. This angle is some obscure angle, somewhere between 90 and 180 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So getting the sine of half that angle is going to be difficult, but there's a formula for it.
Right.
And it goes like this. Plus or minus the square root of 1 minus cosine of theta over 2. Now, I'm not expecting you to memorize the formula. Many tests, many teachers, and I think teachers, if you're listening to this, let's do a shout out for the students that we love so much, that we care for their success. I really don't think you should force students to memorize this stuff. I think you can give them a formula sheet. Honestly, I've done it. Give them an extensive formula sheet. Maybe they can make it themselves, and then you approve it. And then they're able to apply it to the stuff that we're going to do now. Okay, so we're going to apply this rule, which would be meaningless if you didn't know the work. So you could still know that your students know the work if you give them the formula. Let's prove it. Let's prove it. So sine of half this angle is plus or minus. Let's bring down the plus or minus. We'll talk about that in a second. 1 minus cosine of the angle. What is the cosine of the angle?
The cosine of the angle is negative 4 over 5.
Negative
Yeah.
4 over 5. Very good. Notice it's minus negative all over 2.
So
it becomes
plus.
It does. So this becomes plus or minus
Plus.
square root of 1 plus 4 over 5
Yeah.
all over 2. And what is 1 plus 4 over 5? Simplified into common denominators? Can I make this 5 over 5? Would that help your life?
Yes.
That is 1, right?
Yeah.
And then it's easily
9 over 5.
9 over 5. So this becomes equals plus or minus. We'll talk about the plus or minus in a second. That's 9 over 5 all over 2, which is the same as 9 over 5 divided by 2 is the same as multiplying by
1 over 2,
which is the same as
is 9 over 10.
Very good, which is the plus or minus the square root of 9 over 10. Now, can you do the square root of both numbers now, please?
Yes.
Plus or minus, what's the square root of 9?
3.
3. Square root of 10, we can't simplify, so we'll leave it root 10. What do we multiply top and bottom by?
Root 10.
Root 10 over root 10, that's right.
And then it's 3 times root 10 over 10.
Yes. So now let's write 3 root 10 over 10. Now we talk about whether it's plus or minus because it varies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are we in quadrant 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Now,
It's
those numbers range from, let's say, like 90.1, like a little over 90, all the way to a little less than 180. If you were to half that angle, what quadrant would you be guaranteed to be in?
Half the.
Half. Let's say it was 100 degrees.
Mhm.
Let's say it is.
Oh, you would be in quadrant 1.
Because
Yeah.
it's 50.
Yeah.
Even if it was really big, like 170,
Yeah.
It'd still be.
it's still in quadrant 1. And if you're in quadrant 1, would the ratio of sine of something be positive or negative?
It'd be positive.
Positive.
What's negative in here? What ratio is negative in here?
Nothing.
Nothing. So I'm going to bring you to another tradition in trig circles. All trig functions are positive here. Let's put an
Okay.
A here for all trig functions.
Alright.
What is the only, out of sine, cosine, and tangent, what's the only one that's positive? Think it through. What's positive in quadrant 2? Sine, cosine, or tangent?
So sine.
Sine.
Yeah.
3 over 5.
Mhm.
Prove cosine is negative 4 over 5, that's negative. Tangent is opposite of adjacent, that's negative. So I'll put it actually here, let's do it in green.
So it's positive?
What's the only trig function, sine, cosine, or tangent, that's
Sine.
positive? Sine. We put S here. Let's go down here. This is really imperative that you know this.
I
You're
feel like
gonna-
this
I
would
feel like
just.
that's all
Yeah,
negative.
it's all negative.
Except
Except
one.
for the hypotenuse.
Except for one. So let's actually bring down the 3, 4, 5 over here. Let's go through it. Is sine positive or negative?
Negative.
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 Opposite over hypotenuse.
Uh-huh.
Is cosine negative or positive?
Negative.
Negative 4 over 5.
Oh,
What about
but
tangent?
Yeah, it's positive.
Mm.
Opposite over adjacent.
Yeah,
It's
positive.
positive. So if a tangent's positive here, is that okay for you?
Yep.
Yep.
all good.
Okay. And now we'll go over here. Sine,
I'm
cosine.
gonna erase the.
Yeah, erase
Remove
that.
that.
Make a little space for us. A little YouTube space. All right. All right. Let's put some numbers in. Look and say 4 over here. This is positive 3. This is negative 3. This is 5. All right. Let's go through it. Sine, is sine positive or negative?
Sine is negative.
Negative 3 over 5 is negative. Is cosine positive or
Positive.
negative?
Positive.
4 over 5, that's the one. And tangent you'll see is negative 2. So this is what they do. Some people see the word cats. Some people
Alright.
see cats. If you want to go in order of quadrants, all students take calculus. That's a
Oh,
tradition passed
yeah.
through
All
the generations.
students think.
All students take calculus. It's like all trig functions are positive. Sine is positive. And by the way, its friend cosecant,
Oh.
right? Because it's the reciprocal,
Yeah.
still positive. Tangent is positive, and its friend.
What?
That's
Oh
reciprocal.
yeah,
Yeah.
I caught.
Yeah, very good, very good. And cosine, do you recall?
Yeah, secant.
Secant, very nice. So we can leave that up for a second. All right.
Look at that.
So in a sense, like you have to know that half this angle, half an angle in quadrant 2
Brings it
will
to
be in quadrant 1, so it's positive.
Okay.
So the ratio becomes positive.
Perfect.
Let's do cosine of pi over 2.
Whew.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Cosine of pi over 2 is the next formula. Cosine pi over 2 is plus or minus 1 plus cosine of the angle
Yep.
over 2. Don't worry about memorizing formulas. Imagine the formula's given.
Mhm.
Let's do it. Plus or minus 1 plus cosine. We're over here in quadrant 2.
Cosine, we're a 4
3 times
over 5. What?
Adjacent
Oh
over
yeah,
hypotenuse.
negative 4
4
times
over
5.
5.
Negative 4 over 5. Very good. Negative 4 over 5. All
Over 2.
So it becomes negative 1 over
And
5.
then you have to do 5 over 5.
5 over 5,
then-
which is
and
plus
you-
or minus square root of
and
5 over 5 minus 4 over 5.
Which is 1 over 5.
1 over 5 all over 2,
2.
which is the same as plus or minus.
Plus or minus
Remember that?
1 over 5 times
1 over 2 makes 1 over
1 over 10.
10. Very good.
And
Now this is the same as square root of 1 is
1.
1. Good. Plus or minus 1. Square root of 10, leave it.
and then you have to multiply
Multiply
again.
on the
And
bottom.
then it's
Got
just,
it.
so it's square root of 10 over 10.
Square root of 10 over 10. Very good. Are we, if we're in quadrant 2 originally, sine of the angle in quadrant 2. Now cosine of half the angle. Half the angle is in which quadrant?
Quadrant run. 1.
Very good. So is it a positive or negative?
Positive.
All trig functions positive here?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Good. All right. 10 over 10. Very nice.
Perfect.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do tangent of theta over 2 This is the formula. So right now we're going to do tangent of half the angle based on the fact that sine of the angle is 3 over 5 in quadrant 2. Here we go. Sine of the angle is 3 over 5 in quadrant 2. What would be tangent of theta over 2? And here's the formula. It starts with sine of the angle. What's
So
sine
it's
of the
3
angle?
over 5.
3 over 5. Very good.
Or
All over. You're good.
is 3 over 5? Oh, yeah. 1
1 plus cosine?
adjacent negative 4 over 5.
Woo!
Very good. Good for effect. Equals 3 over 5
Over 5 over 5 plus...
minus
so,
4 over 5.
Oh, yeah, 5 over 5.
Yeah, and then it's gonna be 1 over 5.
Yeah, so 3 over 5
Yeah.
over 1 over 5.
Yeah.
Which is 4 over 5.
And then you can just do times
5
3
over
over
1.
5 times 5 over 1.
3 over 5 times
which
5
is
over
15
1.
over 5, which is 3.
3. Answer's 3.
Look at that.
Well done.
Easy.
Easy peasy lemon
Do you
squeezy.
recall the sine cosine formulas were plus or minus, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this is all I want to say. Let's say your original angle was in quadrant 1.
Yes.
Half the angle would be in,
Quadrant 4.
imagine if it was like 80 degrees. Half the angle
Oh.
would be, how many degrees?
Oh, 40.
So you're
Okay.
still in
Okay.
quadrant
yeah,
1,
makes sense.
okay?
Got
So
it.
that would mean plus,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying, okay? Imagine your original angle was in quadrant 2.
Mm-hmm.
Half would be where?
1.
1, very good,
Plus.
always.
Uh-huh.
Let's talk about quadrant 3. It'll work every time.
Yeah.
Give me a random angle, something super easy in quadrant 3.
340.
340 is quadrant 4, it's
Oh,
almost 390.
just get 290.
290 is a little past 270.
Oh.
Just like 250.
250.
250 is good, let's do 250, sure.
I'm really good at picking
What's
numbers.
half of 250?
150 in quadrant 2.
Well, it's
125.
125.
In quadrant
Oh
2,
my
very
God.
good. You're okay, you're
Math
okay.
today.
It's a lot of math, it's a lot of math. I admire you. I admire you for stepping up like this. So if you're in quadrant 3 and you go half, you end up in quadrant 2.
Yeah.
So then you have to decide whether you're positive or negative. If it's
With
sine,
Mhm.
you'll be positive.
Mhm.
If it's cosine, you'll be negative. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go over here. I'll give you one. 300 degrees.
It's 150 in quadrant 2.
Very good.
Mm.
So you go back to quadrant 2 again. Sine will be positive here,
Mm-hmm.
and cosine will be negative here. So basically Q1, you don't have to write this necessarily, goes to Q1 for half. As long as it makes
Q2
sense. Q2 ends up
Q1.
Q1 is half.
Q3
Q3 ends up
goes
where?
to Q2.
Always.
Yep.
And Q4
And
goes to
Q4.
Q2.
Yep.
Yeah. That's high level stuff. That's good. That's how you know whether it's plus or minus.
Perfect.
Okay, give yourselves a golf clap. I gotta work on my game. Got plenty of
If only
time.
Adam was here. Golf clap.
Yeah, that's good.
Dun.
Hello, I'm President Barack Obama. In any approaching election season, it is of the utmost importance to vote. Your vote directly shapes the future of our nation. Simply Google how to register to vote for details in your area. I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.